Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I'm going to go ahead and put out a new routine for you guys, and this is also going to be, within the next week, should be my article over on the Tiger Fitness. What I've looked at is my novice program has been vastly successful, but there are some complaints about it, and I want to give people an alternative that gets them out of the gym a little quicker, because some people say it does take them up to 2 hours to finish the workout. The volume is excessive because it's there to cover every single possible weak point that people are going to develop to ensure that they end up with a well-balanced physique and a well-balanced strength base, but not everybody is going to be concerned with that as much because not everyone's going to develop the same weak points. And so it really is a lot of volume for people to adapt to and recover from, in addition to the time commitment. So I wanted to give people an alternative to that that's also more flexible in what you can do so that you can fine-tune it just a little bit more to your individual needs. And so I went ahead and I wrote up a linear progression program here. And these are going to be the basic lifts with workout A and B. Now you'll note that I left some variation in there, and it's obviously the back squats are the only thing that's not flexible, but as far as the chest pressing goes, I gave people the option of, and this is barbell only, of decline, flat, or incline, because different people have preferences there. Work with whichever one you feel like is going to give you the best results. Same with the deadlift stuff. Not everyone's going to want to come in and do deadlifts all the time, so I've given them the option of, instead of using the barbell deadlift, of using the Romanian deadlift. Maybe they feel like they need more hamstring work and they don't want to deal with the additional recovery issues from the deadlift, so I'm giving people the option of doing the Romanian deadlift instead. Then as far as the shoulder pressing, I've kind of done the same thing. I don't care what sort of overhead pressing you do. It could be a standing front press, seated front press, behind the neck press, dumbbell shoulder presses, whatever works for you. Just make sure that you're doing some sort of free weight overhead press. Same thing with the barbell rows. People want to do regular bores, do those, or if they want to do Pendlays, go ahead and do those. Now, the difference I've done with the accessory work is I've left it open. What I want people to do is pick 2 isolation exercises, and you know what? You don't even have to keep those the same through the program. On the other lifts, I want you to run through each 6-week cycle of the program. Stick with the same lift on the basic movements. If you start with the incline and the Romanian deadlift, you need to finish with those. Stick to a progression, and you can change them if you repeat the next cycle of it. If you want to change exercises, you can do that. With the isolation work, whatever muscle groups that you can see in the mirror are lagging the most on your physique, pick effective isolation movements that you happen to enjoy and like for those 2 body parts. And for most people, there's going to be a curl there because I haven't included much bicep work at all other than the rows, and for most people that's not going to be enough. So the overwhelming majority of people are probably going to pick some sort of curl, perfectly fine, and then something else. Whether it's side laterals for their side delt, or flies for their chest, or leg curls for their hamstrings, whatever you are noticing personally that's lagging the most on you, balance your physique with the accessory movements. And in order to get you out of the gym faster, I want people to superset those. So you're going to do 3 sets of those and do them in a superset, because what you can do if you take 60 seconds between your lifts, let's say you picked barbell curls and dumbbell side laterals. Come in and do your curls, do your side laterals as a superset, and then 60 seconds between your last curl, go back and curl again. And they can do that as a superset, and generally within 4 minutes, you can have your isolation work done. You get a good pump from it, and if you keep with 8 to 12 reps on those, what I would recommend on those, don't follow the progression on the main lifts. You're going to do 4 main lifts each day. Follow the progression that I'm going to lay out here in a bit for those, but on the isolation work, go ahead and pick a weight that you're going to fail somewhere in the 8 to 12 rep range and try to get them real close to failure, or at least fail on that last rep. Because again, this is weak point training. They're small muscle groups. It's isolation work. It's not going to hurt your recovery to go ahead and hit failure. So ideally, you want to be hitting failure on that final set of each one. You'll get a lot of metabolic fatigue, and it will help bring up whatever those weak points are. And again, if you do them in a superset, it will get you out of the gym faster. This program should take you 45 to 60 minutes 3 times a week and get out. Now, as far as scheduling it goes, I want people to alternate A and B. And rather than what I say on the novice program of only 3 times a week, if you want to do them at 48 hours so that you do 3 one week and 4 the next, 3 1 week, 4 the next, that is acceptable in this program. Or if you feel that your recovery needs you to just do the 3, like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, do them that way and alternate A and B. Either method's going to work. Tailor it based upon how you are recovering personally. Because a program like this is meant to be very efficient. It's for people who don't have a lot of free time to train but still want to get as much hypertrophy as possible without worrying about other performance elements. So base it upon your schedule and your recovery as far as what you can get in. Now, this is what the progression is going to look like in the 6-week cycles. So as you can see, you bump up 5% every week. So you're going to do 3 or 4 sessions depending on what your pattern looks like with a given weight. You're going to increase at 5%. You're going to do that for 6 weeks straight, right up until you reach 85% for 3 sets of 5 on all the big lifts. I want you to do these with 2 minutes break in between. That's going to keep this workout really short, very intense, a lot of metabolic fatigue. If you start hitting failure during any of those heavier weeks to where you're working with the heaviest weight that you're going to do for the given rep and set scheme, which is going to be weeks 2, 4, 6. If you're hitting failure, you might want to bump those up to 3 minutes, or you have the option of go ahead and scaling it back 5% because you've overshot your maxes. So in order to determine the maxes, what I want people to do at the start of the program, because I've given you percentages, I want you to go ahead and use any of the 1 rep max calculators you can find online. I want you to pick a weight that you think you can do 5 to 10 reps with on all the exercises that you choose personally. At the start of the program, the day before, a couple days before you start the program, take a set to failure or what you know is within 1 rep of failure so that you can determine your rep max. And so you plug in, if you failed at rep 7 or you got to say rep 6 and you knew you maybe only had 1 more in the tank because 6 was a bit of a grinder, then you know that's your 7 rep max. Plug it into the calculator, use that to determine your maxes. And then use that to get there. So if you determine that your max on an exercise is 300 pounds, then you base that as your max and you use those percentages to start. Now, when you get to the end of the 6-week cycle, and this is where it becomes very specific to novices and intermediates, rather than me set a difference between a novice and an intermediate as far as this program goes, you've had 6 weeks of progressive overload through a basic linear periodization model. So you're going to be stronger no matter what. Your experience level, your recovery, your diet, all that's going to determine how much stronger you got. So what I want people to do on week 7, it's going to be a deload week and a testing week. So week 7 afterwards, if you're going to run another cycle of the program again, no matter how many cycles of it you're going to run, 2, 4, 5, however many you want to do, come back in the following 2 days after your last workout, and I want you to pick either the same exercises you did, or if you're going to change exercises, say from the flat bench to the incline, or the barbell row to the Pendlay row, pick the new exercise, test your rep maxes again on it, and use that to determine the strength of your next phase. And then the next 2 sessions, I want you to come in and deload. So you'll go ahead and take a deload week for the next 2 sessions, which means I want you to cut back to 50% of your max, of your new calculated max on the exercises, and I want you to do 2 sets of 10 on those and get out of the gym. And skip the isolation work. And that will allow both novices and intermediates to run this program effectively. Now, as far as extra work goes, in addition to the isolation work there, a lot of people are going to ask, can they do extra work for certain support muscles and weak points? The answer is yes. In fact, I would like to see people doing a little bit of rear delt work, some face pulls or something for very high reps with bands or ropes, whatever you want to do. Do some face pulls to build your rear delts up. If you want to do some extra ab work, do it. If you want to do ab work every single day, feel free to do those. If you feel like you need to do some calf work because your calves are lagging, because that's a genetic component. A lot of people don't need to train calves. I don't need to train calves. But if you need to do some calf work, then do some calf work at the end of the routine. Or if you need to do them on your off days because you want to come in and just do some accessory work, then come in and do some extra calf work. So little support muscles and things that are going to get missed, if you want to throw in some extra work for them, go ahead and do that. But if they're going to be muscles that are going to generally be used as primary movers in any exercise, including things like delts and biceps, stick to your main accessories for those isolation movements that I recommend that you're doing every single workout session, and then tag in the other prehab stuff like a rear delt and rotator cuff work or your ab work or calf work as needed based upon your individual needs. But at the very least, I would recommend that most of you do some sort of face pulls or rear delt flies at the end of the session as your schedule allows for. And that should still keep you inside of an hour so you don't have the same issues that you have with the novice program. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.